It's time for Justice for the People with Pastor Charles Bennett. Justice for the People, exploring issues involving corruption and injustices in the Tri-Cities. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and Pastor Bennett, and not necessarily those of the moderator, management, staff, or advertisers of WHAP. Here now is Pastor Charles Bennett and Justice for the People.
And we're back. This is Justice for the People. I'm your host. I'm here with Mrs. Jerrerson, and I was just sitting here. We were talking about why is it that the black people and the white people, we're all in this boat together now. It's not, the police are against the public. Let's be honest about it. They're not, they don't really care if it's white or black, but they're even more prejudiced toward blacks. But the point is, they make a stand in Powhatan. The black folk make a stand. Hundreds of people go to Powhatan. They might as well have not even gone out there because the media covers it in such a fair and balanced way. And there's nothing fair about what happened in Powhatan.
Nothing.
There's nothing fair.
Nothing.
And you want to know what else? There's a lady named Mrs. Braswell in Petersburg, Virginia. And the guys that killed her husband got off scot-free. And there is nothing she can do about it. Nothing. They walk across the bridge from Petersburg into Colonial Heights, Martin Luther King Bridge. And this is a white woman. And her husband was killed. And no justice was done. And she walks across the bridge. She might as well not have walked across the bridge, because nobody will help her and nobody will stick up for her. If the people don't start standing up. Now, we have a program here. I guarantee you there are mothers, aunts, uncles listening right now that have had their children and their grandchildren. Maybe they had a roach clip. Maybe had a little roach, a little bit of marijuana in the ashtray.
Yeah.
And what happened to that guy that called in? I'm glad he called in. They throw this guy into the back of the police car, then they molest his girlfriend, and there's no one, just
proof.
His word against her word.
Yeah.
He could feel her up and do whatever he wants to do with her, and nobody's going to say anything, because after all, it's Waverly, Virginia, and the judges are just as corrupt as the police officers.
And if they speak up, the police officers will get together like a gang and harass them.
Yes, they will.
Every place they are,
yes,
they will be.
And
it's sick. But what would it be like if there wasn't a tape rolling? With the Rodney King situation.
What if you didn't have a tape rolling?
That's true.
You would have been buried. Those police officers would have come against you. But when Michael Herring, the red herring, that's what I call him, he's just a red herring. He's just a black man put out there to distract attention from the fact that the corruption against the black man is unattainable. It just makes no sense whatsoever. And Michael Herring says, we're dismissing this case, or we're not trying. They didn't fully try it, did they?
No.
You know why?
It was time for us to go for this month.
He saw the tape and dropped it.
But I'm not understanding. They had the tape since September. Why would they wait now?
Because they had to drag you through it, so it makes it look like it was a hard-fought case, so that they didn't let it go too easily, because then that would have made it easier for you to sue them for false arrest. Now you can get them on malicious prosecution, because what you just said, if they had the tape since September and they didn't let you go till at the just before the trial, because, did they ever offer you anything? Did they offer you any plea bargain or anything like that? Did they say plead guilty to this and we'll let it go?
Yeah, they talked to my lawyer, threatening to bring up something I did when I was 19 years old, but
It had nothing to do with this case. They can't legally do that.
I don't care what you bring up.
That's exactly right.
It doesn't matter to me. The fact still stands is I am innocent.
That's right.
and I was treated I was just treated unfairly.
That's right.
And as a woman, I am scared for not only myself but other women, because that was one of the most scariest moments. And I am bold. It doesn't take it takes a lot to scare me.
Was the officer that arrested you, was he black?
No, he was white.
And were the other officers out there black?
It was a mixture.
A mixture?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to say something to every black police officer. Please, please quit selling out to get ahead. Quit selling out. It's wrong. Our society needs police officers willing to stand up and say to the captain, to the chief, to the somebody, to internal affairs, what happened was wrong, and deal with it. We need officers that are willing to speak up.
Well, the officer that attacked me, he knew he was wrong because he actually apologized. Who apologizes for something?
He apologized? When did he apologize?
When they let me go. He actually,
at the court?
At the jail.
At
when
the
they
jail.
let me go, he was like, "You want to use my phone? You know, to call you right? You know, I really apologize. This should have never happened."
Too little, too late.
And I say, "You're right. It should have never happened." You know, but.
Well, what do you think, public? 452-4999. Mrs. Jerrerson is here. She's telling her story, and Mr. Newman's going to be on here on Friday. Roundtree Pontiac is going to be here tomorrow talking about the injustice of General Motors and how that their dealership, their General Motors dealership was taken, the Chevrolet dealership was taken away from them. Mr. Newman's going to be here talking about how that things have not been right in Hopewell, Virginia. Some of the statements he makes are radical statements, just like what I've been making. It's wrong, folks. And some of you white folk listening to me today, you need to get your head out of the sand, because it's not just the black people that the authorities are abusing. They're abusing every single poor person who's not well connected. You better believe in this area, corruption runs deep.
Yes, it does.